Okay, I got some comment about from some petty ass horsewoman. That's right, I said it. So if you don't want to hear it, then turn the damn thing off. She's whining and complaining on one of my videos about why I approve comments. And I must approve them because all the women hate me because they know I hate them. Get to some horse stuff here, I guess, a little bit before I go off on why I approve comments. It's raining out here today. It's kind of muddy, and my guys came in and wanted to eat. There's other horses out in the herd. This is I wouldn't call this advanced feeding. I would just call it routine or long-term feeding. Because my horses eat and pasture together, because these three are out all night together and they get along. Besides Buddy, look at Buddy. See, he keeps lifting his leg, pinning his ears. He doesn't want this horse getting in too close because he has to show dominance. Now, that's because he's a young, pain in the butt, cocky male. I'm going to get hate mail from guys saying males are cocky. Anyway, he's a young gelding that wants to show, he thinks he has to show dominance around his food. He was pushed around by his mom and a lot of mares when he was younger. And Tanner's let him eat with him, and I was hoping that would rub off on him. But he still gets a little pushy on his mare just to show dominance. So she has to wait her turn. So you see him as he's eating, as she gets a little bit closer, he kind of threatens, and now somebody say, he'll kick that horse in the head. Horses aren't, see he's pinning his ears? See that tail? He warns her before he's kicked. He's not going to kick as long as she reacts. I don't know if you can get this on full screen, but when he nods his head and pins his ears, she will give a little bit of release, and she'll move her head away. She won't take a step, and she won't run away, but she moves that head away, kind of saying, I got it, you're higher, I'll move. See, he pinned his ears, lifted that leg, she moved her head. And that's all it took. And again, when I see people running around listening to everybody out there, all these yahoos about, you got to push your horse, take him out to the round pen, show him who's boss. I remember this one girl, see, he just pinned his ears. This one girl had a horse, and of course, all she wanted to do was braid his tail and be nice to it. And her husband was a macho hard ass that all he wanted to do was beat horses. He was known around, everybody called him the horse beater, because every horse he got with, the only way he could prove his manhood was to beat up a poor horse that couldn't fight back or that wouldn't fight back. And but that's another topic, and there's plenty of macho guys, and I could talk about guys all day and bash them, and I'd probably make a lot of the women out there who are pissed off that I'm talking about women happy. But I'm not making these videos to make people happy or to piss people off. I'm making them so you understand horses and what I see in my experience. And if you get something from it, then fine. And if you don't, then stay the hell off my channel. So, again, back to that woman that was all lovey-dovey and a guy who was a horse beater. That girl would go in her stall. The horse would try and kick her. See, Buddy's backing up. She's going to move. She swished her tail. She showed submissiveness. And then he's going to go, see, he's still kind of being a pain in the butt. Buddy, knock it off. Now I'm going to make him pay attention to me a little bit and quit. Buddy, you knock it off. He gave me those ears. He looked, Buddy. Buddy. I'm going to, now see, Tanner's like, I'm out of here. See, Tanner don't want no problems. And that's the problem with working multiple horses. I see people trying to correct one horse when I work another horse. See, Tanner's like, I'm out of here. I don't need any problems. So he stopped eating. Poor Mr. T, he ain't doing nothing wrong. He's being a good horse. Buddy's going to be a pain in the ass. And then when I correct Buddy, Tanner's going to go, you know what, I'll just go over here. And if he goes back there, that's good because Buddy won't push him. And if these three eat in a herd out in pasture, a lot of times this mare will go on the other side of Tanner, knowing that Buddy won't push through him. She has learned that Buddy will push her. She's lower. And because he's a pain in the butt and he wants to be a macho young gelding that just, the only way he can kind of prove himself each day is to push and push and push. Kind of like inexperienced horse people that have to push, nag their horse. Buddy acts like that. She's learned that, so she hangs by the higher horse. And when you're training a horse, if you understand that or you're working with different horses, horses can tell how you act and how you treat other horses. If a guy, there's one lady wrote me and said, my horse I bought him a new barn, and I think this guy's hitting him or being mean to him because it said he don't like, I don't know if it was a quarter horse, a thoroughbred, doesn't matter what the breed was, that some asshole who ran a barn liked his specific breed of horses, so he didn't like other horses. And, he could have been a woman, but he was a man. Oh my God, Rick cracked on two men. He's a man hater. Oh, he must have had a bad relationship. He's gay. Whatever, people. Get over yourself and quit worrying about whether I hate, love, women, men, bash. I'm trying to make a point about horses. This guy was mean to horses that he didn't like because he liked a specific breed. And this lady saw a change in her horse. And she wrote me and said, I think he's doing it, but I can't prove it. So I told her to bring some cookies to the barn and have every person, including that guy, give her horse a cookie. And I said, if the horse flinches when this guy reaches out with a cookie, you'll know he's doing something to that horse. And sure enough, she said it was right. The horse flinched. He was being mean. She moved barns. And she wrote back, said the horse is happier. So, there's people out there that are jerks. And they come in both sexes. A lot of my films deal with what I see with women. I don't hang out at rodeos, which are dominated by men. If I hung out at rodeos and I took videos at rodeos, I'd be cracking on men. I'd be cracking on them using their spurs. I'd be cracking on them not having horsemanship. I'd be cracking on them freaking being too hard on the bit, being too damn macho, not giving their horse release. I'd be doing all that if I was at rodeos, but I'm not. I'm talking about horsemanship and what I see, and 80% of my audience, probably 90%, 80 or 90% of horse owners are women. So mainly I'm talking about women and what I see their mistakes. If you don't like that, stay the hell off my channel and quit leaving your petty ass comments because you got nothing else to do but take my comments personally. I don't know you. I don't know who you are. If you got time to write me and make a negative comment, then you ain't learning nothing. So I don't give a shit if you come on my channel or not. This is about the horse. It ain't about you women who want to take this personally. So, of course, as usual, I'm jumping around, and I'm talking about this mare staying on the other side of Tanner because she knows Buddy won't push Tanner. Now, last night I was feeding them. Buddy tried to push her, and Tanner had enough. And even though he didn't go through him, Tanner went and knocked it off, and he bit the crap out of him on his side. And I heard skin, and I heard Buddy go, ooh, from his nose getting jabbed, and I knew he got the shit bit out of him. And you know what? I walked off and said, hey, Tanner's the lead horse. Whatever he did, he felt he doesn't correct for no reason. He felt Buddy was out of control and shouldn't have did what he did. Now, I've seen Tanner correct Buddy once on the water that I thought was inappropriate. And I was like, but he was feeling bad and he was sick. So I figured he was just grumpy and old. So I just let it go. But he normally does not correct Buddy. He lets Buddy get away with way too much and puts up with this damn youngster too much that he probably ought to be kicking his butt more. So when he does kick his butt, I kind of stay out of it. Now, Buddy, I think, kind of nags this mare a little bit more than I want. I don't want him to be that kind of mare, especially when I'm around. I want him to be, you know what, when he's around, I don't need to worry about other horses. I need to worry about you. So feeding these horses in here, and what I started here was these horses, this is a dangerous feeding. If you tried to do this, and again, I'm not being lazy. I got my boots on. I would have walked out in the mud. I don't really care. It's just raining out there, and there's other horses out there. And I didn't want to drag a whole bunch of hay and start these horses far and have to put out all these piles because then they get wet and it kind of wastes a lot of hay. So this was a little dry spot. My little herd, actually my two horses and this little horse that's part of the herd came in. And so I said, you know what, I'll throw some hay in here because the other horses are out back. And it's not that cold out here. It's raining. It's probably, I don't know, in the 40s or something. So it's not that bad. Of course, there's horses inside there with stalls on, owned by women that love them. And I had to say it, sorry. Look, I get much more positive comments from women who understand where I'm coming from, and when I crack on women and I tell them, I get so many comments and emails, not on YouTube, just emails on my website that I'm absolutely right. They totally understand. They see what I'm saying. So I'm not that far off the mark. And the people that want to make negative comments on my YouTube, I don't really care about negative comment. If you want to say I'm an asshole and I hate women, and you know, someone else, I don't know if it's the same comment, brought in, my wife probably really likes that I talk about women and I'm always hating women. Whatever. Whatever. I'm talking about the experiences I see with women and horses, and I try to relate it to understanding horses and trying to help women so they can have a better relationship and hopefully the horse will have a better life. So, I mean, it is what it is. And if you don't like it, then stay off. The main reason I approve comments, and I'm almost to the point of saying no comments on my videos, is I approve comments because every once in a while you get nasty people that want to make comments about, the horse's penis, or why are you stroking it, and this horse comes, or that horse could do this, and there's just a lot of sexual innuendos. Then I get other people that want to come on here that don't know what the hell they're talking about, and they want to start giving people advice. So they'll respond to different people, and I don't post those. If the advice is bullshit and I don't agree with it, I don't post it. If somebody gives advice and I think it's fairly reasonable, and I'll say, hey, you know what, this isn't too bad, I'll leave it. But if it's totally off mark, somebody, you wouldn't believe how many comments people want to put on there. If you got a stud chain, your horse wouldn't do that, or that horse needs a stud. I don't approve comments like that. If you don't like that, I don't give a shit. You ain't gonna use my YouTube channel to promote pain and suffering and bullshit to horses. Now that little horse just kind of turned away. Oh, she just came in. Something happened to make that horse move because she pinned her ears and turned. Now she just kicked. Oh, Tanner told her no. See that tail? She stuck her nose in there, and Tanner flipped that tail and said, "Don't bother me, I'm eating." Now probably what she wants is to go on the other side of Tanner. But Tanner doesn't know that. He's not thinking ahead. They can't do that complex thinking. Okay, Tanner, if Tanner was a human, he'd say, hey, you know what, I'll move over here closer to Buddy so you can move over here and eat. Hi, Mr. Chicken, what are you doing? Bark, 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 bark. Don't come in here and cause problems. You'll be flying from a hoof. Oh, see, now the chickens just noticed I was here. I usually give them a little corn or something. So here comes the chicken brigade. So that's why I don't approve comments. If you want to write a constructive, I had some guy who has his own channel about horse training, and he wants to write me and start commenting on my channel about, oh man, you should never, that's wrong. You should, yeah, that's right, I wear spurs and horse needs spurs. I don't post that crap. I don't want people reading that and thinking, oh, maybe this guy's, I don't care. If you come to my channel, Buddy's about to pin his ears. She got a little close. She's asking to come in and eat, and Buddy is telling her not to. So when I'm talking and I see these horses communicate, see there, Buddy? Look at Buddy. Buddy's looking at her. She's dropping her head very low. You see her nose? She's coming in very polite, and respectful. So Buddy's allowing her to come in. Now, if she comes in too quick or non-respectful, Buddy's going to say, back up. Here he goes. He may lift his head. He may not. She wants to come in. Buddy? Buddy. See, I try not to interfere because this is horses being horses, and when I interfere, I'm going to mess up Tanner, I'm going to mess up the program, I'm going to mess up their hierarchy, and I usually end up screwing it up. So as much as I want to right now, saying this poor little mare wants to come in and eat, okay, and I want her to come in there and eat, she ain't starving, ain't none of them starving. She came in very respectful, and Buddy let her in. And as long as she doesn't crowd Buddy, Buddy will probably let her eat. But in a minute, Buddy may turn around and bite her, or he may nip at her, or he may pin his ears and say, get out of here. Buddy just bumped into the wall. Stupid wall. I know, Buddy. Stupid wall. We didn't get out of your way. See? Now she got close. Look. He just said, back up a little bit. She went, I'm sorry. She took a step back. I don't know if you saw her feet. But she's really close in here, and this is 3 horses. This is why I said this is kind of not advanced feeding, but it's a little bit dangerous because it can go bad really quick. And the only thing that'll happen is Buddy will just tell her to get out of here. He'll bite her. He'll spin. See, she's learning. She's being a persistent. And this is what people need to do with horses. When a horse says no, you have to be persistent. Now, she's being passive persistent. Very respectful, asking. But she's less. She's lower. She's submissive. So when you act like this, talking to mainly you women out here who want to be nice, when you act like this mare is acting to Buddy, you keep telling Buddy, I know you're higher. Please work with me. Please do this. And you reinforce your position as lower. Now, if I went in there and Buddy said that shit, I say, oh, no, hell no. I'm higher. I ask you, you do it, or I make you. Now, see, he pushed her back. She submitted. She went back, and she's respectfully asking, but she's being persistent, and she's getting her way. Horses will do that with people. And if a person treats a horse that way, like a lot of kind people that don't understand horses, that want to be nice and think natural horsemanship is begging and pleading and asking 50 times and not being mean or aggressive or not making a horse listen, then you get into disrespectful, mean horses. The horse gets worse. He gets more dominant. He gets more pushy. He ends up kicking you and hurting you. And the next thing you know, you're out of horses or you're selling a horse because you think the horse is mean. And all this just comes down from watching these guys talk. There's all kind of communication going on here, but he just told her back up a little bit. She said, okay, I'll move. She moved her head. She didn't step away. And that's when people jump away when a horse pins her ears. I'm at 15 minutes. Got to go. Hope that helps. Don't leave me nasty comments. I'll delete them.